Hi everyone, welcome to the very first edition of our new course, which is called AI Dev Tools Zoomcamp. We, in DataTalks.Club, we run free courses. This is one of our courses, and it's been a while since we launched a new course. So we have a course about machine learning, we have a course about MLOps, we have a course about data engineering. Last year in summer, we launched a course about LLMs, and now we have this new course, which is about AI dev tools. So the purpose of this course is to equip you as a developer with the tools to be a more productive developer, so you can write better code and faster. So that's the main purpose of the course. And this is an area that is actively developing. So there is a lot of new stuff happening. And yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to start the course. So the idea came actually in around January this year. And then we ran it by you. We asked if you would be interested in this course. Many of you said yes. At the beginning, I was a bit skeptical because all our courses we do, they are targeted towards data specialists, data scientists, machine learning engineers, data engineers, and so on. But we haven't created a course for developers. So this is going to be our first course for developers. Well, ML engineers are also developers, but for broader audience. So I was a bit skeptical about that at the beginning, but the response from the community was really good. So at the end, we decided to launch it. And finally, today is the day when this is happening. So in the course, yeah, so this is the results of the poll. The idea behind this is to teach you how to, or not teach, but show you how to use these all new AI tools for for writing code, for being more efficient at writing code. And I see most of you already used AI for coding. So 10%, 11% haven't used. And this is, of course, the right place for you. But for those who have already used, and you probably noticed the benefits of that, we want to maybe give a bit more structure. And also, maybe I can tell you a few words about myself. So why actually I'm teaching this course, or why I'm running this course. So I've been an active user of AI tools for coding for the last 2.5 years. At the beginning, so it was just copy pasting from ChatGPT. It wasn't great when GPT 3.5 was still the main model. So it would make mistakes, it would hallucinate things. Well, this problem is still there. It still hallucinates things, but that back then, it wasn't really super useful. But then GPT-4 appeared, and it changed a lot. So all of a sudden, now models could produce code that would just work. Not necessarily from the first attempt, but at least the code was good. The method, like it didn't invent stuff out of nowhere. So the code was working with some guidance from me, from a human. And then I started using this a lot. So for the last 2 years, I've been a very active user. I've created a lot of things using AI. So for some of these things, it's AI is writing like 70% of the code, and I'm mostly assisting. And one of the things maybe I can show you right now. So this is the course management platform we use for running courses. So this, for example, has been created. This is the project I've been doing since like for quite some time, and I started doing it in first ChatGPT. Then I used Anthropic Claude. Back then it was just a chat application, not Claude Code. Then I tried all the different tools. I used Cursor. I used Copilot. I used Codex. I used Verdant. Like I tried many different things here, right? So I've been an active user of these tools, and I learned a few things along the way. And what I want to do in this course is to show you, to share my experience of doing these things, and perhaps help you structure your workflow better. But also, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open for discussion because some of you, as I have seen, 90% of you are already using AI for coding. So here in this course, I'm not saying that, okay, this is what I show and this is the right way, right? So we can discuss and say, and you can say, hey, but I use it differently. This is my workflow. And this is something we can always talk about in Slack and learn from each other. But yeah, so this was about me. And now let's talk a bit about the course. So who is this course for? So this course is for developers, for people who already program and who already know how to use command line, who know how to run stuff, right? So you probably heard this term, vibe coding. Vibe coding is when you just let AI create code and you don't really care what is inside, which is valid for many cases. Sometimes you don't really care as long as it appears to work, you're fine with that. So here, vibe coding has its place, but here we want to show how we Copilot, how we guide the AI to write code. And for that, we need to be able to read code. So that is why prerequisite is experience with programming and being able to run things, because we don't want to just blindly trust AI and let it go crazy, go wild, and create whatever we want. We want to make sure that the things it creates, the code it produces, actually makes sense, right? So this is what we will do, right? But as I said, there is also a place for vibe coding where we just say, okay, we want to create that, and we don't really care how it's implemented, right? But for the majority of this course, you need to be able to read code, and you need to be able to execute this code, right? So that's why it's a prerequisite, being an experienced programmer. By that, I mean you have written code in some programming language, right? We will use JavaScript and Python here, JavaScript for front-end and Python for backend. I am not a JavaScript professional by any means. So I have used JavaScript, and I used JavaScript quite some time ago, right? So when it was jQuery mostly, when we did things on the browser, when Node.js wasn't really a thing. So my experience with JavaScript is not super, how to say, I'm not a pro in JavaScript. I can read JavaScript code, right? But if you don't have experience with JavaScript, it's also fine, right? Because it will produce some code, but if you have experience with any programming language, then you will be able to understand the if statements, the for loops, and you'll have some general idea of what is happening. And when you don't know, you can always ask AI to explain you what is happening. You can ask AI to find certain things in the code that you need to change. So, and this is what I will also show, because I have some basic ideas of, let's say we will use React here. I have some basic ideas of how React works, but I don't necessarily know it in depth. And I will show you how we can use AI to actually understand what's happening in the code. Then also, if you're coming from, let's say, front-end background, right? So maybe your experience is more with JavaScript, or maybe in the past you used Java or some other language, and you don't have experience with Python, it's also not a problem. But we will use Python for backend, because in my opinion, this is the simplest backend language, and also for me, this is my primary language. This is the language I have been using for quite some time, because in the past I worked as a data scientist. So for me, Python is the main language. So these are the two languages we will use, but you don't have to have a prior experience specifically with these two languages as long as you understand programming and you can read this code. And with AI, you will be able to do this. And you also don't need to have any prior experience with AI tools. If you already played with ChatGPT and asked it to produce some code and you copy pasted this code, is good, but also I'll show you how to do this. Okay, so that's who this is for. So I see that there are complaints about the microphone. Am I audible? I hope I am, so please let me know. Also, there is a bit of delay between when I say something and you hear it. So I see a question if this course is free. Yes, this course is free. And I hope when I say that, you can hear my answer. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go through the GitHub repo of this course. Okay, thank you for confirming. So what I want to do now is I want to go through the repo for this course. And first, I want to share the repo with you. And also for those who are watching this in recording, I will include the repo in the description. So I will quickly show you how you can access the links. Course repo. So if you're watching this in recording, here, I guess I need to refresh it, or do I not? Do I not need to do this? So here, yeah, you just click here, more, and you see links, and then this will be the course repo. So this is where all the content is in. So this is where you'll find all the things about the course. So, and probably you have seen this repo already, because probably this is where you find the link to sign up for this course, and this is how you end it here. If you have not seen it, now we will go through the content of this course. But before we start, I want to ask you for a favor. I see that there are already 300 plus something people in this stream. So this course is free, and we count on the word of mouth and on your help to let everyone know about this course. And one way of helping us with that is giving the course a star. So what you can do is I share the link, you open this link and click on the star button, like here. So what will happen is I'll give you some time to do this, but I want to explain how it will help us. So when you all at the same time do that right now, so all of you, well, let's say half of you already gave a star, but half of you have not. So if all of you now give a star, it will end up in GitHub Trends. And many people check these GitHub Trends. So they check the GitHub Trends and they will see this course. So they will enroll in this course and they will know about this. So if you give a star, it will help us to spread the word about this. So please do that. And if things work, we end up in GitHub Trends and more people discover it. So yeah, thanks everyone. It's not, like those who have not done this, please do it. It will really, really help. And of course, there is the like button for this video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, also do that. And like is also important because it will help the algorithm understand that this is an important video, so it will show it to more people. So yeah, please do that. And I see questions about the content. So this is what I want to cover right now. So I want to go through the repo, and I want to talk about these modules that we have here. So first, let me just start with README, right? So in README, so this sign up button that you probably used for signing up for this course, and there are a few links here. So first of all, so the most important thing, when you scroll down, you see this section, what we will cover. And by the way, I have to admit that actually, when coming up with this page, I used AI for that. I think we can check it in history, right? So if I look at commits and commits history, at some point there are commits from GitHub Copilot, right? So I used also Copilot for coming up with the content for this course, at least for the outline, right? So, because it really helps with some work that, like I already know what I want to cover, so I just describe it briefly and then it creates content based on what I want. So it's really cool. Anyways, so here we have this section, what we will cover, and this is the modules we will have in this course, right? So right now it's 6 modules. It's very likely that we will have to drop this module number 5 because I don't have an instructor for this course. I have some ideas, but I wanted to find somebody who would cover this course. I haven't found a person to cover that. So we will see how we go about that in this cohort. So maybe for the next one, we will be more prepared. But I still have this idea, and maybe I will record something. I am not a DevOps engineer. I am not a platform engineer. So that's why I wanted to find somebody who is more an expert in this area. But anyways, let me go through all the content of what we want to cover. So in module number 1, we introduce this AI-assisted development, and we go through tools that help us with that. So there are tools like ChatGPT. We talked about that. There are tools like Claude, and they are good, but it's a chat interface, right? So it's a thing in the web browser where you ask a question, you get a piece of code, then you go to your Visual Studio Code or PyCharm or whatever. You copy this code, you execute the code, something doesn't work, you ask ChatGPT to fix it, you copy, and then at the end you end up moving a lot of code back and forth. So this is not convenient, but it's already a step towards like it's a big improvement over what we had before without any assistance whatsoever, right? So, and this is what I started with. And I think some of you also have started with this way of interacting with AI simply through chat interface. So then we have these chat applications. Some of them are better with coding, some of them are worse, but right now I would say they are more or less on the same level. But then I think it was people from Cursor who had this idea first that how about we take this chat that we already have, but instead of copy pasting them things, we just do these things in the module, in the integrated environment. And this is we have tools like Copilot, Cursor, and so on that have this AI experience in the IDE, in Visual Studio Code or other IDE that you use. And then with time, they became smarter and smarter. So I want to talk about these things. And then also there are things like Claude Code, right? So we will cover all these categories. We will also talk about tools like Lovable and Bolt that with a single prompt can create an entire application for you. And then we will talk about like more advanced things, like, for example, this Anthropic Computer Use is a tool that can control your desktop. So this is what we're going to cover in module number 1. So we are just going to give an overview of the tools that we have to help us be better developers. And then after that, in module number 2, what we will do is we implement the project end-to-end. So in the first module, we just, so the example was the game, a snack game, right? The game from this Nokia phone. So we just tested different things, but here in module number 2, I want to implement things end-to-end. So I want to have front-end, I want to have back-end, I want them to communicate with each other, I want to have proper tests, and I want to have, I want to make sure that we understand what is happening in the code. It's not just AI is writing and we are blindly trusting AI with the results. No, what I want to have is I want to show you an approach how you can build these applications without spending too much code, without not necessarily reading every line of code, but still having trust that things work, right? So we will talk about tests, we will talk about aid in CI/CD, we will talk about deployment, we'll cover all that. So by the end of module 2, you will implement the project end-to-end entirely with AI. And I'll show you how I guide AI applications when I work on things, right? So this will be module number 2. In module number 3, we'll talk about MCP, Model Context Protocol. So Model Context Protocol is about adding tools to it's about about making this agent, these tools more powerful. So for example, if we use Copilot, then we can make it even more powerful by letting it access GitHub or letting it access some databases or letting it access more recent documentation, like things like that. So we will cover that in the module number 3. In module number 4, I want to show you, to give you a peek under the hood to explain you how these things work under the hood, right? So I have experience creating AI agents, right? And I want to show you how you can create your own AI agent for coding. It will not be as effective as Cursor or Copilot, but I just want to explain how these things work. So then for you, you understand better when you interact with Cursor or interact with Copilot, you understand what is actually happening under the hood. That's the purpose of module number 4. So there we will implement something like Lovable, where we give it a single prompt, and based on the prompt, it creates an entire application. Right? So this is something that we will do in module number 5. So in module number 4, sorry, in module number 5, I wanted to cover using AI for CI/CD. So for testing, so we will cover some testing and CI/CD in module 2. But here the idea was to show it from the DevOps perspective, like what are the instruments that help DevOps engineers, like help analyze logs, help debug things faster, and so on, right? So it is important, I agree. The focus there is more like on on the DevOps practices. So here we still cover some tests here, and we still cover some DevOps practices here, but yeah, so because I know for me it's personally quite interesting because I'm not a DevOps engineer, but I think that following these DevOps principles is quite important. And there are tools that make our lives easier. And even if I'm not a DevOps engineer, I can still properly monitor my application, properly have a proper CI/CD thing, quickly find bugs when they happen, and things like that, right? And then review pull requests, do all these sort of things. So that was the idea for module number 5. And as I said, I don't really have experience with that. And I was trying to find a person who could cover that. And some of you already mentioned that, what if you know somebody who can be an instructor for this part? So if you know somebody who could be an instructor for this part, please let me know. Otherwise, at some point, I'll create some content around that. I just don't promise to do it in December when the course is running, December, January. So probably it will take some time. So eventually, I will create some content on that because I am personally very interested in this topic. But in the meantime, if you know somebody who knows this thing, please feel free to connect us, and then maybe we will make it happen a bit earlier, right? And then in module number 6, what I want to cover is, or when I say so I was thinking what to include in the module, I came up with this idea, but I will not be instructor for module number 6. It will be a different person, so they will cover N8N, so which is a no-code tool for automating things. So before, so here we show how to write a lot of code for doing things, but for some things we don't need code, right? And instead of opening Cursor and asking it to implement some things, which we can totally do, right? For some things, when we want to automate something, it's a lot faster if we just drag and drop things and use AI to automate things. Like, I don't know, it could be automating scripting, it could be sending some messages based on whatever thing. So we'll cover this in the module number 6. Okay, module 5 is the main reason I want to learn this course. Okay, good. So as I said, if I do this and I want to do this, I don't promise to include it right now, but eventually we'll have it. So, and if you know somebody who can help with the content, please put us in touch, right? Yeah, but it's not something I know super well to just sit right now and create the content for this model. So I would need to have some time for that. And as I said, I'm not a DevOps engineer. My background is more in data science, even though as a software engineer in the past, I am exposed to many of these things. Again, if somebody would be a platform engineer or DevOps or SRE who knows how to use these tools properly, that would be a way better instructor than me for this one. Okay, and then also I wanted to add that for this module number 6, I'm not the instructor, and for module number 3, I'm also not the instructor. So I have co-instructors. So for one, Bhavani, I already added her. We already had a workshop recently. She's working on finishing this workshop and turning this into the module. And for that, we will also soon have a workshop. Okay, yeah, if I don't find anyone for module number 5, I'll take it myself. So yeah, I'm just not sure about the time frame for this course. It might require a little more time. Okay, that's the main thing I want to talk about. So that's the outline for the course. So here you already, I hope, gave a star. So let me quickly check how many of you actually did that. So, okay, thanks a lot, big heart. It was around 100 stars, right? So that will definitely help. And if for some reasons you forgot to do this, please do this, because it will be really helpful. And we want people to notice this course and join it and learn from us. Okay. So where is the slides? So we covered the syllabus. So the logistics, how this course is organized. So I already showed you this, right? So then when you want to see what is inside, you just click on the module content and you see the content, right? And here, what we already have is this, it's already pre-recorded. So I did a workshop about that. So you just click here and then you go through the content. Okay, you go through the content. So there's already, for each module, it's roughly like 90 minutes of content. It's already recorded. And then there is also homework. So there is some material for the module. Then there's homework. So you will find homework in this cohorts 2025 folder. So right now, there is not much happening. But as the course progresses, I will add more and more things there. So this is homework number 1. In this homework number 1, we will create a to-do application in Django. So I explicitly kept all the instructions very vague. So then you will need to use any AI tool to help you finish these things. So I just give you direction. Okay, you need to implement this and this and that. And this is what you do. So I still need to finish it. Now I will finish it today or tomorrow. I will make an announcement about when it's already ready. But like you can already start doing this. So the questions from 1 to 3, they will not change. We'll only add a few more things. So some of you, maybe you have already watched this workshop that I mentioned, introduction to vibe coding here in the overview. So if you already watched, you can of course refresh, but if you feel like, okay, like for me, it's not interesting because I already watched, you can start with homework already. And by the way, for module number 1, because everyone is only starting, we will have 2 weeks. And for the rest of them, we'll have 1 week per module. And of course, there is somewhere Christmas break. So during the break, we will not be, you can of course continue working on the course, but because of the break, we will arrange the deadlines in such a way that for Christmas, if you want to take break, you will not be affected, right? So you can go to your vacation, come back, and then continue with the course. Okay, so that's when it comes to the logistics. So we have roughly 1 week per module. Even though maybe I should actually give it, well, I'll think about this. So typically in our courses, we have 2 weeks for module number 1 and 1 week for the rest. But I'll see how the timeline looks. And maybe, because this one is, to be honest, is fairly simple. Like what you can do for the homework is just copy this homework to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will let you know what to do. And I wouldn't call it actually cheating. right? So because here we are learning to use AI. So if you just copy the homework to ChatGPT and GPT gives you the answers, the only thing I will ask you is not just to blindly copy the answers to the homework form, but actually implement what ChatGPT suggests. So I want you to have a working Django application that you co-create with AI, right? So that's the purpose of the first module, to just, so first there is this bit of theory to understand the landscape of AI tools, but then second, try it yourself, right? Okay, so when it comes to the timeline, it's still to be discussed. I'll share the detailed timeline in a few days. And then at the end of the course, we will have a project. So in the project, you will need to implement what we learned yourself. So it will most likely be very similar to this end-to-end project with a bit of MCP and a bit of CI/CD, but like we cover CI/CD here. So what I want you to have at the end is project that you implemented yourself with an AI agent, right? So end-to-end project. Yeah, so for one module, 1 week is, for module number 1 week is fine. But yeah, I'll figure this out. So, and then since this is the first time we'll launch the course, for me, it's still difficult to understand how much time you will require to go through the content. So for example, in our data engineering course, I thought that the module number 1 on Docker will be the easiest one, because how running Docker run could be difficult, but I was so wrong. And it was the most difficult module for most of the people, right? So we will just go with this, see how we progress, where people get stuck, where you have questions, where things don't work, and then we adjust as we go, right? And then, yes, this is the first time we run this. By the next time we run it, it will be more smooth. And I see there is a question if we can use code spaces. Yes, you can use code spaces, and I actually would recommend you to use code spaces. Because for example, in module number 1, we need to use Node.js, right? What if you never used Node.js before? Like figuring out all this NPM and VM, Node, and so on could take some time, right? You will figure it out. AI will definitely help with that. But it would be cool if all things that you need are just installed, already there, available for you. And code spaces is exactly that. You already have Node.js there, you already have Python there, you already have integration with Copilot, so it's ready to be used, right? And then you can install more things there. If you want to use Codex, you use Codex. If you want to use Cloud Code, you use Cloud Code there. It's simple to install because all the main dependencies are already there. And to answer the question, when does the course start? It starts today. Okay, so let me see what else I have in the slides. So all the homework that we submit will be done through this course management platform. So this is the link, courses.datatalks.club. You will find the link here in the homework. So when I finish the homework, here, there will be a link at the end for submitting it. So the link will lead to this courses platform. And then what you do, yeah, you go to, right now I haven't created a homework yet. So this link will contain something like this. So this is from another course, from a different course that we have. So it will be homework, and then you will see deadline, and you will also see projects, and you will see deadline. So then you will understand what is the timeline for this course when it finishes, how we work during the breaks, and all these kind of things. Right, and then when it comes to submitting the work, so you just click on the homework, and then there are some questions that you need to answer. Some of the questions are free text, so they look like that. You need to put the answer there. Some of them are multiple choice, where you need to select one of the options. Right, so that's how you submit the homework. Yeah, I have a lot of things here that I wanted to talk about. But maybe because I know you have a lot of questions, and I would rather spend time answering your questions than going through the slides. I want to mention last two things. So we have a Telegram channel for this course. So the Telegram channel, you will find a link here in the links. Telegram channel with announcements. So I highly recommend to join this channel. So this is for me the main way of communicating announcements, right? So when homework is ready, when there are changes in the curriculum, in the materials, when there is a new video that I decided to add, or like all these things, when there is a, like we extend the homework, all of this is communicated through Telegram channel. So I highly recommend for you to get there. But if you don't want, it's okay, because all the announcements, they are reposted to Slack. And then, so in addition to Telegram is for announcements. In addition to Telegram, we have Slack. So that's another link that you have here, right? So you should also join Slack, because in Slack you can ask questions, you can interact with your fellow learners, you can share the experience with each other, you can help each other there. And also, if you, for some reasons, don't want to install Telegram, all the announcements are reposted to Slack. So you will see a bot called Automator with the messages, the announcements from there. Right, and then there's already course playlist. I will add this video too. So what we have here is a few weeks ago we had this Q&A session where I answered your questions. So it's already here. Then this is module number 1. We have it. Then we already had a live stream about MCP. So it's already here. And I already did a session about a coding agent. So then you can find it here too. Right, so already some materials are available. You will find them in the playlist. So if for some reasons, I would actually recommend to use GitHub. So where am I? So I would actually recommend to use GitHub for all the links and stuff. But if for you prefer YouTube playlists, yeah, you can do that. Okay. So a few other things. So if you like the work I'm doing, you can also support me by donating. I will share the link now in live chat. So if you feel like you're getting something from this course and you want to help me, like, I don't know, donate $5 or 10 or whatever amount you want, you can do it using this link. This course doesn't have any sponsors, so this is a new course. I was not able to find sponsors. So typically in many of our courses that we run, there are sponsors. And for me, this is how we make money for DataTalks.Club, right? So this course doesn't have any sponsors. This course is free. So then for you, if you want to support me, if you want to say thank you this way, there is a link that you can use. So I shared the link. And then maybe last two things before we proceed to questions. So in the course management platform, you will see learning in public links, and you will see this FAQ contribution list. So for learning in public, so as you go through the course content, you learn something new, and you can share these things, and you can make a post, for example, on YouTube, or sorry, on LinkedIn, saying that this is the thing I shared, so here it is. And if you do that, you can put the link to LinkedIn, to Twitter, sorry, X. If you write a blog post, you can put all these links here. So they can look like something like this. So this is what I learned today. This is what I'm going to learn tomorrow, right? And then we also have an FAQ document. So this is a document with frequently asked questions. Okay, this is not the right link because this is for a different course. So it's a Google document where you can put, if you have some problems when you follow through the course materials, you can explain what the problem is and share your solution there. So that's FAQ. And for these things, you get extra points. And then we also have a leaderboard that looks like that. So for each question that you solve correctly, you get a point. For each link on social media that you share, you get a point. And for each FAQ contribution, you get a point. And then you get this score, right? But these scores don't mean anything. So if you, like, it's up to you if you want to even go there to the course leaderboard and look at that, or you can just freely ignore. The main thing that you need to do in this course is deliver a project. So if you finish a project, you get a certificate at the end. If you don't do homeworks, it doesn't matter. As long as you finish the project, you get a certificate. But we want to motivate you to do homeworks, to share actively about your progress. That's why we have this leaderboard. Okay. After I get a job from my first salary, I will donate at least 5% of my first salary. Okay. I will be very happy if you do this, but you don't have to do this, to be honest. Like for me, even if you just donate, I don't know, $5, it's already pleasant. And the donations are not the main source of income for DataTalks.Club. As I said, the main source of income are sponsors. For this course, we don't have sponsors. Maybe in the next edition, next year, we will have somebody, we will have a company who will decide to support the course. And this is how we usually make money. So, but of course, if you will decide to donate 5% of your salary, I will not object to that. But again, this is not necessary. But I will be happy of any support you provide. And also, this the donations are tax-free in Germany. So if you give me $5, I get all the $5. So I don't share it with the German government. So I can actually go and buy, well, I don't know how many things I can buy for $5. But let's say if you donate $10, then I can go and buy a kebab, right? Okay, let me start with the questions. And if you have a question, it's better not to use the live chat for asking these questions, but use this Slido. So you have a QR code, or you can go to slido.com and ask, put AI dev there and ask your questions. How much workload in terms of time should we expect weekly? What is your estimation? My estimation is 5 to 10 weeks. No, sorry, 5 to 10 hours, depending on your background. So like 1 hour is to watch the video, maybe another hour if you want to follow along the content, and then maybe 1 or 2 hours to implement the homework. So that's for week number 1. So I don't expect it to be very heavy. For other weeks, maybe for the homework, you'll need to spend more time. I don't have any data. So if in the prior courses, for example, this course, right? So there is a dashboard where I can see how many people spent on watching videos, how many people spend on doing the homework, how much time they spent on videos, homework, and total time they spent, right? So we don't have this information yet because this is the first time we're on the course, but I don't think it will be more than 10 hours. And probably even less because there's so much you can do with AI, and to do the bare minimum, you probably don't need to spend a lot of time. But I will also encourage you to experiment with these things more, and then maybe in addition to doing the homework, you can see what else you can do, how you can improve what you have using AI. Is there a way to use free LLMs for the full course by spreading our workload over multiple days? So free LLMs, you mean like free cursor, right? Yeah, I don't think so. With ChatGPT, I think you can actually. So, for example, when it comes to the homework or when it comes to creating the snake game that I show, I think you can do it with the free account. You can also use Gemini. Gemini have a more generous free tier. You can use Grok. Grok, not the one from Elon Musk, but this with K or Q, Grok. So you can get a free account there, and then you can use their LLMs for free. They also have quite generous free tier, but I would actually recommend to spend $10 on getting GitHub Copilot. If you already use a paid, if you have a paid ChatGPT subscription, which is like $20 per month, or 23 maybe. If you have that, then you also have Codex. And Codex is an extension for Visual Studio Code that you can use. It's included in your plan. And again, if you pay like $20 per month, it's already, you can do quite a lot with this Codex. So I would recommend actually try spending some money on that, like even if it's just for 1 month, to get the feeling of how much more you can do when you do this. And believe me, like this $10 you spent is really, really, really worth it, because you will be so much more productive. Then you will not understand how you worked without these tools before, right? So of course it's possible, but I would actually recommend, I don't know, setting aside $10 and see how much you can get with just these $10. Do we have weekly streams? No, we do not. So this will be the only stream we have. So we will not have other streams. What we will have is, as I said, Telegram channel for announcements. We'll have Slack where we can talk about things, where you can ask questions and then I will answer them. And all the content is pre-recorded. Actually, I lied a little bit. So there will be a stream for module number 6. But we stream this content and then it becomes the content for the module, right? So you can treat it as pre-recorded content. So we will not have live streams like the one we have today right now. Gemini is really, really bad at coding. Okay, I cannot comment on that. I have not used Gemini for coding. But my impression was that all the top models, they're relatively similar when it comes to performance, right? But yeah, I would suggest to like experiment with different tools and also giving a try, giving paid versions a try. So yeah, we will not have weekly streams. All the Q&A, all the questions you have, you ask in Slack. How often are we going to have streams? Okay, I think I answered that. I need to see your t-shirt print. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. That's my t-shirt print. Do you know what it is? Maybe some of you know. It's a present. I don't listen to the band. But yeah, I like the t-shirt, and it looks like I listen to metal, and this looks like a metal t-shirt, right? Even though it's not. So I went to a metal festival, and only one person recognized this band. So for most people, it looked very like a metal t-shirt. So, question from Luca. Is best practice, we will learn how to make use of agents or Claude MD and context and prompt engineering. So yes, I use agents.md. I will talk about that. But we will not go into like details of that, because I think just having agents MD is already enough, right? So then you can explore more yourself. But when I tell you what agents MD is and how to use it, it's already quite good. And for me, the main how I use it. So I use it. I ask my agents to commit code regularly. Because imagine you're working on something and then it's working, but then it stops working, and you're like, okay, but it was working, but because you have not committed code to Git for quite some time, like you cannot really go back easily to the last working state, right? So that's why I add this thing in agents.md. I ask, hey, commit code to Git regularly. So then I can always roll back to the previous working version. Outside of that, so what I also do is for Python projects, I ask it to use, maybe I can show you. I think I have it here, agents.md. Yeah, so as simple as that. Use UV for dependency management and running scripts within the project, right? So for this project, I use UV. This is a dependency management tool. So it could be as simple as that, and it's already very useful. Right? So I will not go into like a lot of details about that. This is something you can always explore yourself once you know the concept. What was the email about? I just received the stream link. Okay, so the email was about the stream. So I was kind of already on the stream when I wrote this email. That's why I didn't have time to put a lot of details, but I wanted to let you know that this stream is happening. So that's why I sent it. Can we please have a weekly or a bi-weekly stream to hear about your medal adventures? Hi, Erika. I'm very tempted, but I don't think this is the main purpose of this channel, right? But I do like going to concerts. Yeah. If you're in Berlin, yeah, let me know. And for example, one thing that we do in Berlin we have monthly dinners where people from DataTalks.Club we get together and we go have dinner somewhere. So if you happen to be in Berlin, you can join our dinners, and there we can talk about metal. DataTalks, so this Slack is not working. So if it's not working, so yeah, you write your email here, you click join, you should get them an email. If it doesn't work for some reasons, so you fill in this form, so this Airtable form. We check it once per day, and usually in the mornings. And if for some reasons this thing doesn't work, then fill in this form and you will be invited manually. So I'll just, me or Grace, who is the community manager, we go through all the emails and one by one we invite you to Slack. I'm just checking the live chat. Gemini is really good for maths, but coding Claude is the best. Yeah, for coding Claude is the best, I agree. But I must say that latest GPT models, they are good too. Although my problem with GPT-5 is it creates fairly complicated code, right? So you need to keep an eye on the code it produces. Because yeah, sometimes it can just get too excited about the code it writes, and it can overcomplicate the code. So I often need to ask it to, hey, can you write it less complex? Can you create less complex stuff? I am not using any of the AI-based browsers yet. I should try, but I haven't tried them yet. I think I like the idea. I think it's really cool. I tried to use an old laptop with Linux OS for the course. Is it fine? I intend to use. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have any other options. Yeah, it's totally fine. What we will also do is we will use code spaces. And for code spaces, the only thing you need is access to the internet, right? And a GitHub account. So if you have a GitHub account and access to the internet, you can do all the course there, right? But also, since for the tools that we use here, all the computation is happening on the server. Like, for example, when we use GitHub Copilot uses Claude. It uses Claude Sonnet. It uses GPT-0.5. It uses Codex. It uses these things. So actually, like, we don't need a powerful machine because all the computations are happening outside. We will not learn LangChain. So LangChain is a tool for creating agents. We're not going to create agents except for one module, but in that module, we're not going to use LangChain. We're going to use something that is very simple and lightweight. Could you please repeat where we should post our homework? Simply on our GitHub page? Yes, so you create, there is, I think, let me check. Yeah, so these are the instructions that you have in the homework. So for home URL. Commit your code to GitHub. you can create a repository for this course, and I would recommend like you create, I don't know, AI DevTools Zoomcamp repo, right? Within this repo, for each of the homeworks, you create a folder, and then you put the code there in this folder. And then when you submit your homework using the course management platform, you simply put the link to this folder in the form, right? And then when it comes to the project, for the project, I would recommend actually to create in a separate repo, not the course repo, but a separate repo. Then later you can use this project as a portfolio project. Is it possible to use cursor in code spaces? Yes, I think so. I think it is possible. Cursor code spaces. Yeah, you can see that it is possible. I have not personally tried it. Oh, wow, you need to connect through SSH. Yeah. So I haven't personally tried it, but from what I understand, because Visual Studio Code, Cursor is based on Visual Studio Code, and with Visual Studio Code, you can open code spaces. So probably what you will need to do is you will need to install the code spaces extension in your Cursor. So here when we have, well, in my case, this is VS Code, but then the extensions for VS Code will also work in Cursor, right? So then you can, where is my extensions? So then you install GitHub Copilot, the extension, code spaces, code spaces. And then here you will be able to connect to code space. So this is the theoretical. I would have to actually test that, but I think it should be possible to actually use Cursor in code spaces. So you just open this code space through Cursor, either using these things we discovered or the way I suggested through an extension, and then it should work. What is the best value for money coding LLM like ChatGPT, Copilot? There is this thing called ZAI. And in ZAI, so this is a Chinese LLM, and they have this interface. And I think when you go here to API, they have this coding button. So there, quarterly, you pay like $9 per quarter, and you can use it in Cloud Code. You can use it like in all these things. Yeah, so I think if you want to get the best value for money, so this for $3, it will give you something like super cool. Because I tested this for writing code, and I really like the code it writes. But another alternative would be I really like also Copilot. Copilot costs only $10 versus $20 that you spend for Cursor or ChatGPT. Well, actually, at the end, I use two tools. I'm paying for ChatGPT, and I'm paying for Copilot. There's another thing. When it comes to Copilot, I'm not paying for Copilot, because for Copilot, you can, if you contribute to open source, Copilot, open source. Yeah, well, I can find the link right now, but if you contribute to open source, you can get a free plan. You can get a paid plan for free in Copilot, and this is what I have. So I don't actually pay $10 per month for Copilot, but I have a paid account. So what I have is here. So I have premium requests. So I have this paid premium request, even though my profile is actually free. And there was something like a Copilot for open source developers or something like that. I applied for that, and I got in, so I can use it for free. So you can look it up. But yeah, I actually like, if you don't get it for free, I still recommend putting $10 there. Oops, I think I accidentally marked the question as answered. Can I go back? I'm sorry. slide, all right. So let me stop sharing my screen for a second. So I know that we are over time, but yeah, I still want to answer some of your questions. So the question that I accidentally marked as answered is, could you also add courses how to use AI dev tools for ML and deep learning? Yeah, potentially, but also potentially, since in this course, in this particular course, we have a section for DevOps, right? Why not have a section for machine learning? So this is what I was thinking about. To have an extra module just using AI for ML. But then at the end, it will be the same. Just talk to Copilot or talk to Cursor or whatever. This is what I want to implement, and then you implement it. So I can show this, and I thought of including it. So maybe not right now, but yeah, eventually. I think it's a good idea. And since my background is machine learning, so this is what I can also show. The stream is recorded, yes. Are there any prerequisites? I think I talked about at the beginning. You just you can recheck, rewatch the beginning of this. I'm trying to become a core ML AI engineer. Of course, I need to learn coding too, but is this course for someone like you? So we don't focus on ML AI here. We focus on using it to make us more effective developers. But then core ML AI engineers are engineers, and engineers need to produce code. And this course teaches how to produce code more effectively. So I think even though the examples here are about creating a game or creating a to-do list or creating, I don't know, whatever, at the end, you can use the same skills that you pick in this course. You can use them for ML too. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to use paid AI agents. Can I go through the course without such subscriptions? I don't know. So you'll need to find this out. And if you find any free way, like for example, in my case, I can use Copilot for free, but there are probably other alternatives, right? And when you do this, please share it in Slack. Please put it in FAQ document, so then other people who have the same problem as you can actually, use it for free. So my answer is I don't know. I haven't explored this topic. For me, putting $10 or $20 is not a big problem because I'm getting a lot back. So I've been a paid customer for ChatGPT for, I don't know, 2.5 years, if not 3. Ever since they introduced the paid plan, I've been paying because this is so useful to me. Like I'm really happy I can use this service, right? So for me, it's not a problem because I'm getting back a lot. That's why I didn't have this when creating the course. But for you, you can not pay for paid AI agents. It's fine. But please, when you find a solution to that, share it with others so they can use it for free too. You cannot afford using paid tools, but can you? I don't know where you live. Maybe you live in a country where $10 is a lot. But if you live in Germany, probably $10 should be a big problem, right? So you don't just go to a restaurant to eat. You go to Lidl, buy pasta once. So you save, like, I don't know, $20, 20 euros. And then you invest this money in the paid tool. But if you're from Nigeria or, I don't know, some other country, yeah, I know that the money you have there is not the same as the money we have here in Europe, right? So then, unfortunately, I'm not in the position to, like, I don't know much about free tools. And as I said, please do some research and share it with the community, because I'm pretty sure you can find something. And actually, the other day on Twitter, I saw a post from a company. So what the company is doing, they insert ads in Google, in Claude Code. So you use Claude Code, and then as a part of whatever it generates, you can see an ad. So this is like a new way of promoting, a new way of marketing, I guess. But anyways, so you see an ad there, but you can use Claude Code for free, right? So I don't have the link because for me it wasn't very attractive, but for you, maybe you don't mind seeing ads because you get the tool for free, right? So maybe look this up. And yeah, also please share. If you find a solution for this problem, please share it with the community so it can help others. When is this course expected to be completed? So we have 6 weeks, 6 modules. Let's say each module is 1 week. And then we have a project. For project, it's 3 weeks. And then we'll have 2 attempts for this project. So in total, it's like 6 weeks. The 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 is roughly 3 months? So yeah, I would say in 3 months, the course will be over. But also we have Christmas holidays. So I would say 3 months and a half probably. And because this is the first time we run the course, there could be some hiccups along the way. So yeah, I would also account for that, and that maybe 2 more weeks. So I'd say in 4 months, it should be completely over. But you can also finish earlier. Do you have any features through Slack or elsewhere to encourage study groups? So we have Slack, if this is your question. So in Slack, you can ask questions. We have announcements and stuff. Can any AI dev tools be used other than the ones? Yes, you can use any AI dev tool. So in the content, I will use Copilot. I will also show how to use Codex. It's just because these are the 2 tools I use on a daily basis. But I have a feeling that all these tools are pretty much the same. So I used Cursor, I canceled it. But for me, Cursor and Copilot, they produce the same things. I experimented with JetBrains AI, and it's fairly good, but I wouldn't say it's drastically different from like all the other tools. So as long as you have a tool that can create code, it's fine, right? So it might be a different tool from what I use, but it doesn't matter. At the end, it's more like an approach. You can see how I ask the LLM to do things. You can see how I ask it to, I don't know, cover things with tests. And if it inspires you, if you learn something from this and use it for your tool, then I would say that my goal is successful, right? So what I wanted to achieve with this course is successful. So if you see how I use these things and you start doing something like me, or you get inspired and you adopt the ways, the way you are interacting with these tools, or maybe you share something with me, so then it's really good. So this is what I want to eventually achieve with this course. So all of you walk out with knowing something new. So I think we should be stopping because I need to go soon. I see there are a few comments in the live chat. I want to check what is there. Please contact Model or Lambda Labs for sponsorship. Okay, thanks for the hints. GitHub Copilot has a free tier, but limited usage. Yeah, also Cursor has a free tier, so you can check it. I'm not giving the Chinese my data. Yeah, up to you, but I don't have any problems with giving my data to anyone, including the Americans. So yeah, so for me, it doesn't really matter. And I find this ZAI model, they recently released like this new one, this GLM 4.6. I find it really good. Seriously, like it's really cool. So, and it costs only $3 per month. So I mean, they can take all my data, like I don't care, but this is really good. Okay. I'll really recommend Andrei Karpathy video on YouTube, how I use LLMs. Yeah, he's a cool guy. What discouraged me from ML course homework was scoring. I couldn't get 100% without doing community engagement and learning in public. Okay, well, thank you for this information. Oleg, So it will not be different. This course will not be different. So I guess what I can say is we follow the same template for running courses for logistics. So if you didn't like this in the ML course, you will probably not like it in this course too. So then it's up to you to decide if you want to take this course, given the way we run it, or not. Right. So I'm sorry to say, but what else can I say about that? I also have an option with Perplexity to check if your credit card gives you access to the Pro version. Okay. If you don't want people to use your data, I don't think you can be on the internet. Okay. Yeah, I think I should be wrapping up. So yeah, I like the content. I like the comment. It was never about achieving the 100%. So what I would suggest is if you get discouraged by this, just forget that leaderboard exists. Right? Well, maybe for me it's easier said than done. I don't know, but like at the end, these are virtual points, right? So you cannot exchange these points for anything else, right? So these are just virtual points on a virtual leaderboard. So I don't know if it helps, but yeah. Okay, so I think we should be wrapping up. So there are still questions. If you, like, I didn't answer many questions, I think 9 of them, and there are probably questions in the live chat. So I invite you to join Slack if you haven't, and we can continue this conversation there. So if your question was not answered, you can go to Slack, you can ask a question. And one thing I would ask you is please do not tag me personally, because if you tag me personally, then you discourage others who may also help you with your answer. So if you say, Alexey, hey, and then your question, it means that you target this question at me, and others are like, okay, this question is for Alexey, I will not get involved. So when you ask questions on Slack, just ask your question without tagging anyone. So that would be the best. And then me or somebody else from the community will give you the answer, and then we can have a lovely discussion. But that's it for today. So now the course has officially started. So now you know where to find the content. Now you know where to find the homework. There will be more announcements about the timeline for the course. And I thank you everyone for joining me on this journey. As I said, this is the first time we run this course, and all the feedback that you provide, all the interactions of your interactions with the course are very, very helpful in shaping how this course will look. It will also help me to understand if this is something interesting for the community in general, whether we should run this course one more time. Now I also know when I mentioned that module 5 will be dropped, I saw the reaction, and many of you said, okay, but this is why we actually joined this. So now I see that this is an important module, and now I will think, okay, because this is an important module, I probably should spend some time later. So for example, at the end of December, where I will have some time, maybe I should spend some time on preparing the materials for this module number 5 if I don't find an instructor, right? And then maybe there are some other things you think we can include in this course. So don't hesitate to share that. Like somebody of you shared that a module on using AI for ML could be useful. If you have some other ideas, please don't hesitate to share them. And yeah, with that, I am wrapping it up. So have fun.